What's up, guys? Welcome back to Let's Play Basara 3! Alright, so now Mitsunari is going to have a three-way battle decision here, so we can go after a variety of different opponents.
He is a wicked man.
Thank you for sharpening my resolve, Yoshitsugu. I swear that I will have him drawn and quartered, and I will meet his gaze as the last tatters of his soul abandon his ruined and dying flesh.
What better way to show your respect to Lord Hideyoshi?
Alright, so I wanted to adjust my setup there, but there wasn't anything really interesting that I wanted to show off. So we have a couple different options here. We can go up against another incidental general, which hopefully I'll show off later in the game. We can go up against Tsuruhime, or we can go up against Tenkei and Hideaki, which I think I'm going to go up against Hideaki because I wanted to keep things narratively consistent with what we showed off with Ieyasu's campaign. So as a result, that requires me to go ahead and recruit Hideaki Kobayakowa. And I'm pretty much certain that Tsuruhime will ally herself with the Eastern Army regardless. So we will show off her stage, though, because she is quite a bit of fun to fight. And an interesting character. Like, she's grown on me quite a bit more than when I first learned about her. When I first played Basara 3, I didn't really much care for her. But her role in the story is interesting, at least. So
Every time I see his face, I fight.
Ah, they're getting closer and closer! Help me, Tenkai! Please protect me! Help me!
Please, Hideaki. There's no need to be melodramatic.
Alright, so Hideaki Kobayakowa, he's a new character for Basara 3, introduced in the movie, if you're following the anime's continuity. And he essentially is incredibly cowardly and afraid of everything, so he's easily influenced by whoever does not want to kill him. So he doesn't really do all that well in terms of fighting, although he does fight. We will have to fight him in this exact battle. He just doesn't fight very well. So he's going to be retreating into his castle here, and we're going to be chasing him. He will be gaining more stars as we reveal more of the strongholds he has. So he's going to be a little bit more tough at first, but we'll be able to capture a majority of his territories. So he's being manipulated by the venerable Tenkei, as we saw there, which, again, we have no clue who that could possibly be. But yeah, Hideaki Kobayakowa goes back and forth between the Eastern and Western Army, depending on your decisions and depending on if you fight this battle or not, whatever takes place. He may not even be at Sekigahara at all if you don't come here first. But he was at Sekigahara when we played as Ieyasu, so he will be there as well, but he'll be on our side, of course. Of course, he was on our side last time anyway. Well, he was on Mitsunari's side. So we won't be fighting against him at Sekigahara, or will we? Maybe he will turn sides again. Who knows? Anyway, so his design is that of a beetle. As you can see, he wears the walk on his back, and he has the kabuto that has the weird horn shape on it. So he looks like a beetle, which I guess is supposed to be a reference to something. But he actually uses the walk as a weapon. In addition to, the character makes a bunch of puns and references regarding cooking and making stir-fry and all these other lovely things. So there'll be a bunch of food references and puns throughout the stage, and every time Hideaki is seen on screen. I don't particularly like the character. He's kind of annoying, and he doesn't really serve much of a purpose in the game. And in Basara, The Last Party, the movie, his role essentially is, I'm going to make a giant walk, and that's going to be used to lure everybody into a false ceasefire at Sekigahara, where they're just going to come and eat a bunch of food, when in reality a big fight is going to break out. So, yeah, he was more useful when the story can utilize him. And I don't even remember how they tried to utilize him in Judge End. I really need to rewatch. I guess I need to suffer through that series and rewatch it. Which I will be planning to do. If I ever decide to do that Basara retrospective series I've been talking about, I will absolutely rewatch Basara Judge End with Cheyenne probably and absorb all of the ridiculous things that I didn't like about it. I actually saw, in your Facebook timeline, you have the memories that are like On this day, several years ago, you posted this because you were a naive idiot at the time, and you should be ashamed of yourself for posting something so stupid. Well, it did that, except this wasn't a stupid post at all. It was me complaining about Judge End like 3 or 4 years ago. Man, this series is kind of, like, this series is not especially old when you really break it down, and it hasn't had that many entries, which is what makes it superior to Dynasty Warriors, in my opinion, among other many numerous reasons. But that being one of them is that it doesn't have like a million different entries, and they don't make one every single year, so each entry is higher quality. But yeah, the series is kind of, the biggest high points of the series have, it's been a few years. Like, this game is like 7 years old now. Wow. Anyway, so we're up here on top of these catwalks, and you can see down there beneath us is the massive wok that Hideaki uses to cook all of his things. And our objective here is just to capture all of these command posts here so that we can reveal him and get him to fight us. As you can see, there's yellow X's on the map guiding us towards those command posts, so as soon as we capture them, he will reveal himself, and we'll have no choice but to kick his ass. So, as far as gameplay goes here, I have a new ability that we can use, R1 I believe, and then we can, essentially what it does is it casts out that, like, he draws slowly, and you can see the flurry of slashes that come out from that, so you can just sort of cast that and the enemy will continue to take damage, even as you continue through your normal melee combo. So you can use that. I don't remember exactly what the move is called, but I'll look at it in the menu soon, just so I'm calling it by the right name. But yeah, you can use that to great effect, especially against a boss enemy that's blocking, and you want to, you know, screw up their block some way, or even a large target like one of the big machines that some characters have on certain stages. You can use that. Man, if I had gotten a couple more hits on that guard captain there, we would have been able to take that command post.
The fire! How could you? You just ruined my dinner!
Another one of those incredibly subtle, over-the-top things that the game doesn't really even draw attention to. The massive, massive vegetables that are in this. Like, look at the size of these things. Like, obviously there's no way they could possibly exist, but the game is just like, yep, he's got giant vegetables, just roll with it. He's angry now, and I'm sure that will do him a lot of good. So all of his units are running around like a bunch of crazy people. He has two captains, or occupation chiefs, that are running around the map, and they've got the big flags and everything. So they're going to try to take back the command post that we've taken, and they may even successfully do that depending on what happens. So we will have to, if we don't kill Hideaki fast enough, we may have to kill those guys, but no big deal, honestly.
That aren't yours.
There he is, little bastard. So in terms of historical relevance, Hideaki Kobayakowa is actually Toyotomi Hideyoshi's nephew. So I'm sure he has a lot of influence, and probably he's very, very wealthy, so that's probably why they decided it'd be a good idea to characterize his character the way that they did. But he couldn't be anything further from Hideyoshi in terms of physical power, at least. And I'm sure Mitsunari going after him was a no-brainer, because he's like, Hideaki, you disgrace your uncle's name. How dare you betray Lord Hideyoshi in such a way? And then the chaos just ensues from there. But who is Venerable Tenkei? We will find out soon enough, I assume, and whether or not we see him at Sekigahara is yet to be seen. Alright, he's using his Basara attack here, which just consists of him, like, turning all the enemies around him into stir-fry with this ridiculous walk thing, and Mitsunari is just staring at him with his head, like, cocked to the side, just like, what am I even watching?
You can do it by yourself.
Even Yoshitsugu is doing some decent damage against him. Nice.
What's the food like in your hometown?
You can see how that flurry of slashes actually does quite a bit of damage and can be pretty useful against bosses. He thought he could get away, but we were too quick.
I beg you, please, no more beatings!
Alright, that's a pretty fun stage, to be honest with you.
You're going to say it. I will deny Ieyasu's request. Your life depends on it.
Say it! Stop it! I'll say it! I will deny Ieyasu's request!
I despise nothing more than betrayal. You are going to turn your loyalties against Ieyasu. You will make certain he feels the sting of your treachery. Hate him! Hurt him! Torture him! Destroy him!
I'm sorry!